okay? It looked like he was just a little slow yesterday, walking from drill to drill. Did he come through okay?
Yeah, no, a really good practice, and so maybe it was that pro glide.
Are there any restrictions on him keeping him from practicing 3 days in a row? Is that something that he can't do?
Yeah, we've set that, so he will not practice, even, when he is fully back, in terms of into the lineup, he's not gonna practice 3 days in a row, so it'll be a day on, a day off, a day on.
How much does his experience level obviously help facilitate that?
It does in a lot of ways. I mean, he's gotten a lot of reps, and there's not many people that probably can have a schedule like that, but I do believe, and we believe as an organization, that he's one of those guys.
Hey, Matt, when you think back to your first Packers-Bears game, I know it was your first overall game as a head coach, but when you kind of came down the tunnel at Soldier Field as the visiting coach, did anything about the history of Packers-Bears or the rivalry sort of like hit you at that time?
Yeah, it was complete chaos in that stadium, obviously opening the NFL season and on that Thursday night game. Now it was then the national anthem. I'll never forget that. So, but no, it's a great rivalry. It's great for the fans. It's great for our game, and it should be an exciting game.
Matt, what does Zach Tom bring to that offensive line? I know you said that he had like a couple plays where he got beat in the game on Sunday, but just where have you seen him come from training camp to potentially playing for the starting spot now?
Yeah, he's a pretty mature guy. He doesn't come across like a rookie in any sense. The way he prepares, the way he just goes about his business on a daily basis. Certainly, he's got a lot of versatility too. Just the ability to play really every position on the offensive line. So, we're excited to see where his future, how he grows as a pro, and I think he's got a big time future.
Back to Lucas Patrick's time here, what was sort of your biggest takeaway and kind of what he did here and what you guys were able to accomplish with him?
Well, Luke is a tone setter, and we had a lot of vets in that room, but he is a gritty, tough, competitive dude. One of the best guys in our locker room. It certainly hurts when you lose a guy like that and he goes to the competitor, but I'm happy for Lucas. He's a guy that he's easy to root for. Just his story is remarkable. I think it's a great lesson. It was a great lesson for players in our organization, but I think players across the league. Here's an undrafted guy that comes into a rookie camp, gets cut, they bring him back, and he develops into a starting lineman in the National Football League. It's a great story, great success story, and it just shows the value of just the work habits, the perseverance, the grit. He's a guy that he'll always be held in high regard in my mind.
You talked a little bit yesterday about Chicago's game last week against the Niners and just, the unique circumstances of that game. But in your experience, what does it take for a team to be able to win a game like that? Heavily penalized, obviously, super sloppy surface and everything like that. What does it take from a mental standpoint to win that game?
Yeah, a lot of mental toughness, a lot of resiliency, and that's what they showed. And they're doing it against a team that we know very well and that is the epitome of that themselves. So for them, a younger team, to be able to grind one out like that, I think that should tell our guys everything that they need to know, that they need to get ready for. This is going to be a team, no matter what the circumstance, we're going to get their best shot. We know it, and we're going to have to be prepared for that.
You ever played or coached in conditions like that?
Not that bad. It was hard to even watch the tape towards the end of the game because the lines were all like almost fuzzy on the, on the TV.
O'Donnell will be playing his former team this week. What did you like about what you saw from him at Minnesota, particularly the way he kind of performed under some pressure at times?
Yeah, no, certainly we've got to be better in protection for him, but I thought he handled it like a pro does, and he was able to pin the Vikings deep many times. I think all of his punts, if we don't miss a tackle, are going to be inside the 20-yard line. So, you know, I thought he did a great job for us, did everything we could have expected him to do, and then some.
Forgive me if I'm making something out of nothing, but between Pat, obviously Adrian having played for Chicago, you know, Luke being there now, Lucas being there now, and everything, it seems like there are kind of an unusual amount of connections between these two teams, at least at this juncture. Do you think that's unique from a matchup standpoint to have a divisional opponent like that?
Yeah, you forgot EQ too, and he scored a touchdown. So, no, yeah, I mean, it is kind of the nature of the beast in this league, but in particular, when you talk about this rivalry, I think that could be a little bit unique.
Who does that favor?
I don't think it favors anybody, to be honest with you. I think it favors whoever handles the circumstances the best, whoever prepares the best, whoever shows up ready to play, who gives the most effort, who's the most resilient, who goes out there and, quite frankly, executes better than the other team. I think that's who it favors.
Yeah, what stands out to you about Mooney and just kind of the season he had last year to kind of break out for them?
Yeah, he's a really versatile guy. He can line up outside and take the top off the coverage, or you can put him inside. He's got great transition in and out of his breaks. You know, I just think there's nothing this guy can't do. He's got great hands. He's not the biggest guy, but he gets away with his speed and his quickness. So I think he's going to be a guy that we're going to have to make sure that we understand where he is at all times.